Glad to have you with us here on Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for stopping by as we bring you the latest injury updates on both Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews ahead of this Saturday's matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans. We got major updates to get to. Very positive on both fronts for both players coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, make sure to join us for our Ravens-Texans watch party coming up this weekend live here on Ravens Rundown. We're going to do an hour pregame show. We'll get started about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Kickoff at 4:30. Big Tech's going to be here in the house with me as well. Between now and kickoff, I want to get to 15,000 subscribers on the channel. Can you guys make it happen? Sub for Ravens Dubs. Subscribe now. Make sure and join us. We'll be live for every single Ravens playoff game right here on the channel. Let's start with Zay Flowers. A new update on Flowers as he missed all three practices last week that the Ravens had in the bye week due to a calf injury. The good news for the Ravens, though, is that Flowers returned to practice on Tuesday in a limited capacity. And if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you're going to need all you can get out of Zay Flowers. As a rookie this year, Flowers was nothing short of spectacular, leading this team in receiving, a record-setting season for Zay Flowers as he set the Ravens rookie record for catches and receiving yards. And you talk about reliability. Zay Flowers was in almost every game this season. The one game he did not play was the Week 18 finale against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Ravens sat a lot of their starters, including Zay Flowers. So this new injury pops up, but hopefully we see Flowers make his return to the football field and be good to go for this game against Houston. Because you look at the impact that Zay Flowers brings to the table here, this has been, I think, a very nice safety net for Lamar Jackson. In this Todd Monken offense that we've seen in 2023, Zay Flowers hasn't necessarily always been the deep threat, but been a nice asset for Lamar Jackson in the short passing game and just finding ways to get open. Flowers has been really good. And now the attention turns to, all right, if Zay Flowers isn't 100%, or if he does not play for whatever reason, then who do you turn to? And that goes back to a guy we've talked a lot about over the last few weeks, and that's Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ has got to step up for this Ravens receiving corps. It will be crucial for OBJ to play at a high level for this Ravens team, knowing that we don't know how healthy Zay Flowers is going to be when Saturday rolls around. And we've talked about it previously with OBJ. What you're hoping for is something similar to the impact that he had for the Los Angeles Rams in their Super Bowl run a couple of years ago. And we saw OBJ towards the end of the regular season really start to come into his own. Finished out the year with 35 catches, 565 yards, and he brings another element to the receiving game compared to Zay Flowers. With 16 yards of reception, we saw OBJ and Lamar Jackson connect in that deep passing game that you didn't have the same type of impact from Zay Flowers in that sense. So OBJ going to be very critical that we get the best version of OBJ we can get when it comes Saturday for this Ravens team. So what do you think? Is Zay going to play against Houston? I'm no doctor, but based on what we know, will Zay Flowers play this weekend? It's our pin comment today. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Folks, got a great deal that we are offering Ravens fans. Our hats, including the sideline hats, are on sale now at chatsports.com/Ravens hats. But here's the deal. Not only do you get your selection of Ravens hats that are available, you can get free shipping right now. Nobody wants to pay shipping and handling and see your money thrown away to the United States Postal Service. Lock it in today and save with free shipping at chatsports.com/Ravens hats. All sorts of designs besides just the ones you're seeing on your screen. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself a nice Ravens hat and save on shipping only for a limited time. Chatsports.com/Ravens hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Ravens hats. Now the Mark Andrews update. And very good news for Mark Andrews as He practiced for the second straight day on Tuesday since making his return to the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, he's in that 21-day window, the warm-up period, before we find out if he's going to go back on the active roster or not for this Ravens team with that ankle injury. It started with Mark Andrews all the way back at Week 11 against the Cincinnati Bengals. The belief was, according to John Harbaugh at the time, they thought it may have been season-ending at that point. He's made this miraculous recovery over the last few weeks, and he's back in a limited capacity at this point, but steps in the right direction. And you can't question the impact that Mark Andrews brings to the table. When we saw him prior to the injury, leading this Ravens team and receiving yards per game, touchdown catches in those 10 games that he played, Mark Andrews was a difference maker. We've seen Isaiah Likeley come along. We'll talk more about Likeley in just a moment, but let's start with what John Harbaugh had to say on the update on Mark Andrews. He said the following: today was his best showing so far. He really took a big step. Just what you saw today, we saw as well, so that's encouraging. Then Harbaugh was asked, could he play Saturday? Harbaugh said, we'll just have to see how it goes. So a non-answer there, not one way or the other, but he didn't say no when it comes to Andrews' chances of playing this weekend. And you look at Mark Andrews, we mentioned just how well he played prior to the injury here. This would be a game changer and could create some opportunities for the Ravens to go 12 personnel. Either way, I'm looking at Isaiah Likeley specifically. A lot of pressure on Isaiah Likeley to perform at a high level one way or the other, whether it's with Mark Andrews on the field or without Mark Andrews on the field. I think that this upcoming Saturday's game against Houston is an Isaiah Likeley legacy game of sorts. And I'll say this. We mentioned how good the numbers were for Mark Andrews when it comes to yards per catch and the touchdowns and all that. Isaiah Likeley's yards per catch is even higher than Mark Andrews is at 13.7 yards per catch, 411 yards, 5 touchdowns. Likeley's been very good. So either way, this Ravens team, whether they have Mark Andrews out there or not, Isaiah Likeley's got to do his part to keep this thing going, to provide that comfort level to Lamar Jackson, to have that safety window of sorts when it comes to getting the tight end involved in the passing game there. Do you believe in Isaiah Likeley? Is he going to step up and get the job done for this Baltimore Ravens team? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. B for believe. D for don't. Chime in. What do you think Isaiah Likeley is going to do? Let us know. Subscribe now to a Ravens Rundown. We're talking about your team each and every day. Going to be live coming up on Saturday for Ravens and Texans at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Subscribe now for free. Join us on Saturday, and we'll see you then.